Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Glow Theory podcast. I'm your host, Jay Marie, and welcome to this episode. We've been gone these past couple days, just kind of, dealing with the side hustles and whatever, and also dealing with life, relationships, fun stuff like that, having fun. You really got to make those moments to enjoy life because what the fuck you here for? So, in today's episode, we are going to be talking about dating as an empath. This episode is for my lovers, my intuitive babes, my soft souls who are out there because I can relate. Just the ones who feel things on very deep levels, and sometimes you just can't even control that. That's just how you are. You were just programmed like that, and that is okay. But I do feel like this is a very important topic to discuss because, when you are an empath and you are dating, it is important to instill boundaries. And sometimes when we don't have boundaries, we let people walk all over us, or we give people second chances, or, we try and excuse their bad behavior as something they just need to work on or grow on or whatever the fuck. We try and intellectualize things because our soul and our heart cares way too much. And we're going to talk about that because this is something I deeply used to relate to. Alrighty, let's get into it. And if I'm looking to the side, I have my notes here. Okay, so what is an empath? We're going to start with the basics first, okay? Get our education right, get informative about what an empath is. All right, so an empath is not someone who cares a lot. It's someone who literally absorbs everything, their energy, the energy of someone, whatever they're thinking. You feel it all on a deep level. You pick up on people's moods, emotions, their thoughts, their patterns, maybe even before they even say something to you. And when you have those qualities without boundaries, that can make you look like an overgiver or a healer or a nurturer or someone's fucking mother. Oh. And sometimes you can become a magnet for people who want to be saved. It's not your job, by the way. And it doesn't mean that you are too sensitive or too this. You are just intuitive. And having that kind of energy and that kind of soul sensitivity, that's a gift, especially in this disgusting, cold world where it's so easy to just be fucking mean and just hate on people and be negative and not really care about people on a soul level. When you have that ability to do that, treat it as a gift. Don't be embarrassed by it. You have it for a reason. You are like that for a reason, so embrace that. All right? Being an empath is not a bad thing, but I just want to talk about how it can be bad if you don't have proper boundaries in place to protect you, where you're not going to get run all over or manipulated or gaslit into thinking that this person is they're good. It's okay. We're going to make excuses for them and let them make excuses for us to think that we have to make excuses for them. The gaslighting. Yeah, we're not doing that, okay? We used to do that. I used to do that. We don't do that shit anymore, all right? And I understand it because empaths, they feel connections emotionally before they can even intellectualize it, before the logic catches up to them. And sometimes when you are not in that place where you have the boundaries and the understanding of, you know what, my energy is sacred, it is powerful, it is strong, and it's loving, we don't want to blow past those red flags because sometimes that empath in you is just like, it's okay, like I can help them change, I can help them grow. You're not no one's mother just yet. Do you have kids? That's not your damn child. They can come out of you. You don't got to teach them shit. And obviously I had to learn that the hard way. But it's okay because now I understand that. And I love being an empath, of course. I feel things very deeply. I know sometimes I come off as like very aloof, but I feel things on so many deep levels. I am such a sensitive crybaby soul. And, as a kid, as a young kid, that's cute. You love seeing that in children. And then as you get older, it's like you need to be able to start building those boundaries because as you get older, You get more and more responsibilities, more and more interactions with tainted souls and tainted people. And when you don't have people to show you how to do that and teach you how to do that, you go into this world as an adult, and then in your dating life, you are letting these creep ass, fuck ass, bum ass men walk all over you. Ew, I literally hate that version of me, but it's okay. She got me to where I am today. Now I'm going to share it. Now we're going to move on to why empaths attract certain partners. So, when you are an empath, you tend to attract these certain types of people in your life, especially when you do not have secure boundaries. Ugh, they're just gonna swamp you. They're gonna like flood you. All right. Number one, the wounded ones. Oh, gross. I shouldn't say gross. I should just say gross to the actions of what they do. Let me explain. So these are people who feel seen by your softness, right? Because you're so nurturing. You want to care for people and cater to their needs and this, that, and the third. And these wounded souls, it's like, oh my God, someone sees me. Someone wants to take care of me. Where your energy feels like home. They lean on you, they depend on you, and sometimes they drain you. This was like a few connections I've had. One specifically that literally, I wish I could burn it out of my timeline, but it really changed my trajectory on how I protect myself nowadays as an empath. But anyways, this individual obviously carried a lot of wounds, as many people do. Everyone has some sort of fucked up wound, whatever fucked up past that they have. Everyone has that. It's just a difference on how you decide to show up. So, young me, young silly naive me, ate that shit up. Um, because I literally just wanted to cater to their needs and just be there to support them. I thought it was just me being kind and genuine, just like it's in my nature to just genuinely want to take care of people. I've always been like that, even in even in friend groups. I've always been like the mother of the group, whatever the fuck. Um, that's just how I am. And this individual with these wounded um, sores, these open sores that I felt bad for, eventually was just draining the fuck out of me. Besides, the other bullshit that was going on, this person was just using me and like draining me for literally everything that I had. Not just materially, but physically. The transformation I had from before I met this person to after I disconnected from this person, oh, it's insane. It's actually insane. I lost my glow. I lost weight. I lost hair. I lost a lot of things materially as well, but spiritually, physically, soulfully, I lost myself as well. I didn't have that motivation or that spark anymore. I was Yeah, like I was drained. I was siphoned. That fucker siphoned my energy. And honestly, it just taught me when you are dealing with wounded individuals to protect your energy at all costs and don't just keep saying yes and yes and yes and yes and yes and yes into investing in this person, into taking care of this person, into trying to rewrite their story for them. That is not your job. You are not God. You didn't create this fucker. You didn't bring him into this planet. You're not his mother. You're not their father. You're not their parent. Sure, you can care about someone and love them wholeheartedly, but it's not your job to raise them and take care of them and fix their wounds for them. There's a difference between helping someone who wants to help themselves, who are actively helping themselves, and those connections are beautiful because you guys are both helping each other when you guys are helping yourselves as well. But if it's just this person, this wounded soul, this wounded energy, wounded warrior lurking into your life, seeing this beautiful energy that you have and how nurturing you are and how you feel like home when you probably just feel like peace to them because they're not used to that, um, they will latch on. And sometimes these individuals will get too comfortable and then start behaving in ways that were like, whoa, who is this person that I'm dealing with? And then sometimes when you get too attached to this person and forget about your boundaries and shit like that, the manipulation starts to happen. The gaslighting starts to happen. The next person or type of individual that empathetic souls tend to attract are emotionally unavailable people. Good Lord. Your emotional depth, it activates something in them. Like it makes them feel something where they crave it, but they cannot give it back. And that that was literally that person. It was literally they were both of these, wounded and emotionally unavailable, right? And I just want to make it clear, like neither of these dynamics means that you're doing anything wrong. Your energy is just powerful. And sometimes when you give it out to the wrong people, they will take it, drain it, throw it in the trash, stomp on your heart, take some more, and then leave you out in the dirt in the cold when they feel all good and mighty, when they feel lucky, when all of a sudden things are going right in their life, when they're getting blessed all of a sudden, it's because of your energy. People don't believe me until this shit happens to them. And to be clear, emotionally unavailable people, it's not that they're not capable of feeling, they're just afraid to feel based on whatever past or experience they have been through growing up as a child. So they're usually used to, avoiding emotions or vulnerability because it feels unsafe or it feels overwhelming. So what they've been taught or what they've been conditioned to believe what it feels like to feel emotions or how emotions are just not safe. And so when they meet an empath, your energy feels safe to them. Empaths, they radiate this beautiful, loving, caring, safe kind of energy. And it makes them feel like she won't judge me. She understands my pain or what I'm going through. And being around her feels so calming. And this is the comfort that they are not used to, so they get attached. And it's certain scenarios that I've experienced where I've dealt with individuals like this. They didn't necessarily like me. They didn't really had or have any intentions of getting to know me as a person or actually, you know, uh, mm, being with me because they like who I am, but rather they were just with me because of my energy, because of how nurturing or sweet I was and how comfortable I made these people feel. Because when I tell you, when I care about someone, like genuinely, um, I I I cater. I do what I can to make sure you feel good and comfortable in my energy. And I feel like people naturally feel really comfortable in my energy, especially like little kids or babies and animals and shit like that. But it's not just my energy that I will give to people. It's like, oh, you're sick. Let me get all of this shit to come and take care of you. You know what I mean? And these emotionally unavailable people who have never really experienced that or who have been in these scenarios with their parents where feelings or being catered to or being loved in unconditional ways were unsafe, where they weren't even given that. And when they meet you and you give them this energy, all of this energy, it's like, wow, like I haven't felt like this in ever. So they get attached and they don't want to let you go. They don't want to let your energy go and what you are giving to them. And in a way, it's like they subconsciously are like hoping that you will heal them as as they're attaching to your energy and what you're giving to them and what you're doing for them. And looking back and being in scenarios like that where this individual did not do jack shit, but sometimes, especially when you're dealing with a man who is emotionally unavailable, they are good with lying. They are good with manipulation and trying to get you to feel certain ways and have wishful thinking and all this bullshit BS. And when you're an empath, an unhealed empath who doesn't have boundaries, you eat that shit up. And then you are also at fault here because you are thinking, you know what, they'll change, they'll do better, I'll keep forgiving, this, that, and the third. It's not your fucking job to do that. No, 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 no. Because in those dynamics, you will end up overgiving to fill in that gap. And that gap is them not being fully emotionally available to you. So your empathetic side will just want to do what they can to make sure like everything is okay. You know, when they're giving you this wishy-washy hot and cold behavior, your empathetic side is like, what is going on? Like, I hope they're okay, or whatever they're going through, you feel bad and you want to do whatever you can to overcompensate and bring the scales back to balance when really you're doing the most. This is them, you are here. You're doing the most, and those scales ain't fucking balanced. You don't even realize that until you're fucking drained sometimes. But that only happens if you don't have boundaries, right? Because you have a big heart and that is beautiful, but you do not owe anyone your peace whatsoever. You, and we will talk about boundaries and self-worth and stuff like that. Sorry guys, I'm recovering from a long event. So, anyways, okay, so let's move on to the empath's love style. So, obviously, empaths, they love very deeply, and you just are not really capable of doing surface level shit. I can totally understand that. You just want to dive right in there, dive deep. No caution, no nothing. And that can be at our own detriment sometimes if we haven't learned boundaries and haven't learned how to slow things down. But anyways, let's talk about your love styles. When you love someone, you feel their emotions as if it's your own. Like you feel that connected to them. And it's not even your fault. That's just how you're wired and structured, you know? When you love, you listen between the lines. Sure, your partner will say, I'm fine, but you hear the tone and the way that they said that, and you try your best to do whatever you can to make sure that they are actually fine. Also, empaths love to nurture certain things that people are hiding away from other people. Yeah, and that makes sense because, you know, being an empath and being who I am, I feel like a lot of people get very comfortable around me because I genuinely don't care what you look like, what you sound like, what your skin tone is, what, like, I don't care about that shit. And I don't care about your weird deformities or your fucking flaws. I really don't care. So, in a lot of relationships, especially with men, when I'm not fucking judging them on every single little thing that they do, they feel very comfortable very quickly. Because honestly, it's like embrace who you are. I don't care what kind of dark little things you got or whatever insecurities you got. You know what? Let me hype you up. Let me support you in whatever that is. I don't, it's not that I want to just willingly, I just am wired that way. When you're an empath, you just are that way. And another aspect of an empath's love style is that they love people's souls. You love people's souls and not their egos. And that is why people might feel so seen by you and feel so supported and loved and cared for by you because you just see their soul, you see their beautiful soul, and souls are usually light. All that dark shit, all that nasty, you know, wounded behavior or activities or these negativities, it's all masks. It is all a shell that is wrapped up around a soul, a light being. I think that can be like a detriment sometimes because for me personally, that's just how I see people. I see people for their souls and I understand, you know, you've been like, when I look at people, I can probably tell what the fuck that they've been through to act this way. And I don't judge because I'm like, I understand it, I get it. But again, that was definitely at my detriment because I was seeing people's souls a little too much and excusing the actual behavior that was affecting my peace and my mental health, right? And that kind of love is extremely healing. You might have been told your love is healing. You feel healing to be around, where your presence is so calming. But these gifts do not belong to everyone. They belong to the right people who can actually honor them and give back to you and give back that beautiful energy that you are giving them, that healing energy that you are giving them. You deserve that back. Because if not, you're just going to get consumed, you're going to get ate up and left in the dust. And that's not what we want for ourselves. At least not me, not the fuck. The fuck anymore. Now let's talk about the biggest challenges that empaths deal with while they are dating. All right. Let's talk struggle here because because real healing requires that honesty. Okay, let's get into it. I listed 4 challenges that like jumped out at me, being an empath and dating, which I thought would be relatable. So these are the main ones that I think are the biggest challenges. I'm sure there's more, but these ones are the ones that I could think of. So number 1 is losing yourself. When you're losing yourself to someone as an empath and not having proper boundaries, you start adjusting to their emotions. You start catering to only specifically their needs and what they are feeling anytime, anywhere, any hour. So when they are shifting in their energy, you feel that too. You're going to shift in your energy. You're going to be upset. You start shrinking your needs and putting everything into that person and raising them above yours. That extreme selfless act. um yeah, no. And then you just like kind of forget like what you want. You forget about your desires and what you want to do in your life. And it really is unfortunate, especially when you don't know. You should never be ashamed of yourself if you've experienced this, because certain things happen for a reason. And if you are in a connection like this, you're obviously going to learn lessons from it, right? And it's maybe because you didn't know how to put yourself first, how to value and honor yourself first before anyone else. Or maybe you had to be this self-sacrificing individual growing up, or you had to take care of other people and put others' needs above your own growing up. So now you do it dating as well. Number 2, ignoring your intuition. Oh my goodness, this is a big one for me because I definitely ignored the signs my body was literally telling me, and the intuition I was feeling, that gut feeling, even before encountering this individual, um, before I asked them out, if you want to go get whatever the fuck I said, I literally was getting like belly aches. Like I felt so uncomfortable and so scared for some reason. But I was with my friend, and my friend was like, you know what, just go. It's light and easy, just a friend fun thing to do before you go to college. I'm like, you know what, you're right. But I still like felt really disgusting about it. So never ignore your intuition, especially as an empath. You are empathic, you are intuitive, okay? When you are ignoring your intuition, you're ignoring yourself and you're losing that trust within yourself. And now you're just operating from a place of concentrated ego. And sometimes it's cases where, your intuition is telling you, what, this isn't it. This person is not it. But then the compassionate side of you is like, you know what, maybe they'll change, maybe they'll grow, maybe, like if I give them some love, that. No, baby, listen to your intuition. Don't let your compassion override what the fucking truth is. Sure, you can have compassion for people and feel for people. I understand that, but you do not dishonor your peace and your intuition and your comfort because you are overextending your compassion for somebody, right? Because you can't heal someone who refuses to heal themselves. Like I said, you're not God. You don't need to heal them. You let them heal on their own. This is their journey, all right? They can do that themselves. They can go to their mom, they can go to their dad, they can go to the people who birthed them. Number 3, falling for potential. Oh, okay, because as an empath, obviously you see the best in people. You want to see the best in people. And so when you notice an individual that you interact with, whatever, you're about to date, and it's like they may have a few kinks, along the road, and it's not all the way together, but you see the passion in them, you see the desire in them, you feel like like they can do it. They just have to put their heart and mind into it, and they can do it. And you're like, I can help them get there because you see it in them. Sometimes as an empath, we see what people are capable of doing before they can even see it themselves. and we want to push them towards that because we care about them, because we want them to succeed, we want them to elevate. Sometimes we're seeing what people could be in multiple different realities. This is their life, and they can decide on whatever choice they want to make in their life and which direction they're going to go for. Okay, you're seeing a possible could be scenario, not what they are right now. Okay, and if the right now version of them does not align with you, you need to let that go. You need to cut that off. And sorry, your heart might sting, but you can't do that to yourself, because there's no need for seeing potential in someone who's not actively doing so, who's not actively pursuing the person that they said that they want to be. Number 4, this is the last one, emotional burnout. Oh, feeling drained after these conversations, especially with someone you are dating or went on a date with. You feel, that's actually a sign, by the way. If you feel drained from this individual after conversations or after a night out, that is a sign. Even the drained, having, if you are in a physical, intimate connection with someone and you feel dead drained, like not good, oh, like, we did our shit, whatever the fuck, but you still have energy. Like, you feel dead. Like, you literally feel like a corpse afterwards. By the way, and that person is up and giddy and happy and has all this energy. They just siphoned your energy, by the way. That's what that is. It's another way you can feel drained, and that can cause that emotional burnout. And then another emotional burnout is when you need the space, but you feel like you'll come off as cold if you say that you want space. I used to be this way. Oh, good Lord. With the, the individuals that I have in my life now, it's like when sometimes my social battery just runs out randomly and I don't even try to excuse it. I'm just like, I'm done. I'm gonna go home now. And I will reach out to you in like a few hours or something after I've collected myself. Whereas before, I would overextend my stay when I didn't want to, when my body was literally telling me, get the fuck home. You need to go home. Like, why are you here? And that has caused that burnout feeling, right? Your energy is sensitive and you deserve that recovery time too, especially when you are absorbing people's energies all day, every day. You need to recover and never feel bad for it. Put yourself first always, 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 always. Now I'm going to move on to how empaths can date in a healthy way. All right. And this part is everything. Okay. We're going to talk about how you can date without fucking betraying yourself. For this one, I wrote like 6 examples that resonated with me and that helped me with my journey and my healing journey, whatever the fuck, especially being a super sensitive soul. So, all right, number 1, honor your emotional sensitivity, your intuition as well. All right, being sensitive is not a flaw. And I know, like, growing up as a kid, when you're called sensitive, it's like people make fun of you, and that's not the case at all. And especially when especially when you've been raised in environments who have this mentality, who've tried to condition you into believing that being sensitive is a flaw, all because they had to be, because your parents had to be tough, or whomever your caregivers were had to be tough. No, sensitivity, it's a compass. It's not a fucking flaw. So ask yourself certain questions, especially when you are starting to date someone, you're putting yourself out there again. This is what I've been doing, like just making sure, like, how does my body feel around this person? Because I used to ignore the signs my body was giving me. So now I ask myself, you know what, how am I feeling around this person? Do I feel calm? Do I feel collected? Do I feel content? Do I feel peaceful? Or do I feel scared, confused, chaotic, unsure, just scattery? And I feel like in the past, those past connections, being my body always felt tense. Looking back, I felt tense and rigid and scared to open up or even express myself, and those were my body's signs. I couldn't even I didn't even want to be myself around these people. I didn't even want to open up. Maybe that was my body's way of let's conserve this energy, okay? We don't want to open up. The body always knows. Always knows. That's why it is your compass. That's why your sensitivity to your body, to your intuition is your compass. Number two, separate their feelings from yours. So before reacting to certain scenarios, whatever it is with this person, ask yourself, is this emotion even mine? Or is it theirs? Why am I reacting this way if it's not mine to even react for? And simple check-ins like that can save yourself from it, absorbing all this chaotic energy that they might be exhibiting or trying to project onto you. Number three, have non-negotiable boundaries. It's not rules, they're not walls, it's respect for yourself and respect for your peace and your comfort. For example, you know what? I don't have to over explain myself to someone. I don't need to fix somebody and their issues and their problems that they're dealing with if they're not even trying to fix themselves. And another example, I don't chase inconsistency within my life, right? Whatever boundaries that you set that are non-negotiable, whatever it is, it doesn't matter what it is, whatever works for you, that you want for yourself, you need to stand on them so you can protect your heart and your soul and your spirit and your energy. Okay, we don't want to break our boundaries just to not to lose this someone. Okay, because if you are fearful of that, that is not your person to begin with. Point blank, period. Number four, look for energetic compatibility, because healthy love, it feels calm, you feel relaxed, right? It feels peaceful, it feels respectful, it's not draining, it's not confusing, it's not inconsistent. So if you're feeling anxious every time you think about this person, that is your sign right there, right? Because there's certain individual that I've met, instantly feeling that calm and that peaceful energy immediately and feeling relaxed, feeling like I can be myself around this person. Number five, date slowly. There's no need to rush anything. Especially, with unhealed empaths, you want to bond very quickly, right? You want to rush into things and jump into things. But you really need to go slow. You need to observe. You need to give yourself time. You need to pace things as well, because you don't want to be absorbing too quickly and jumping in head first really quick. And I know sometimes, especially when you are unhealed and an unhealed empath, where love might have been conditional, and then you meet someone and they show you this ounce and you're like, you know what, I gotta hold on to this, I gotta keep this, I don't want to let it go, and it's like, that might not be your person to begin with. Sometimes connections like that, they burn out real quick, and that's not where we want to be, and it can be really chaotic as well, because you didn't take the time to, I don't want to say study them, but know them, observe, see if this is something that is actually good for you or not. Because when you're rushing into everything, you're not taking the time to, listen to your intuition, listen to your body, listen to whatever signs that are being given to you, right? You're just kind of blowing past it. You're rushing through like it's 5 p.m. rush hour. You're trying to get home. Number 6, protect your energy. This is so important. All right. This isn't witchy. This isn't whatever the fuck negative connotation. It is emotional hygiene. That's what we're going to call it. It's emotional hygiene. You got to protect your energy, your spirit, your source, all the good energy that you have, because when it's given to the wrong person, that shit will drain you. It'll get siphoned. It'll take you a long time to get that shit back. And protecting your energy, for example, can look like alone time, or letting people go when they feel too heavy, when they feel too much, a little too much for your energy, or if this dynamic is starting to shift where it's favoring them more than it's favoring you and it's costing you your peace. right? You don't need permission to protect your energy. You don't need permission to protect your peace at all. Ultimately, the right person for you in a connection as an empath, they don't drain you. They don't rely on you like you're a therapist. They don't fiend on you like you are their mother. They communicate clearly. It's not confusing. There's no up and downs and this way to Sunday. Like, there's no confusing shit. It's consistency. They take accountability, and the connection feels grounding, right? Where you can both feel at peace with each other. And a good partner will not ever be intimidated by your depth, right? Because being an empath, obviously, you are a very soulful person, and that kind of depth, kind of scares a lot of people, especially when they are not fully secure within themselves. So when you are secure within yourself and your energy and your beautiful empathetic energy, the right person for you, the right man, will not be intimidated by that. They will love the depth that you have. They'll want to match that beautiful depth that you have. And obviously, with the right person, you're not going to confuse intensity for intimacy. For me personally, I definitely used to mistake intensity for intimacy. I was young, still learning, and obviously very much unhealed, right? If someone opened up to me quickly, I was like, you know what, maybe this means that we're connected. But then later realizing that maybe I wasn't really falling in love with this person, but falling in love for their pain, right? And that trauma bonding and falling in love with their pain, meaning like you just care so much about what they've been through and you just want to be there for them and this, that, and the third. And I was falling for potential as well, not the reality that I was being shown. And so that really taught me, this softness and this soft energy, this empathetic side, this nurturing side that I have is very sacred, and it is only meant for the people who are the men who the men who are capable of receiving it and giving that back as well, right? And matching that level of energy and knowing how to take care of it, knowing how to handle it, because not everyone deserves access to that energy. Always remind yourself that, always protect yourself, always. Alrighty, that brings us to the end of this video. I hope this was a good and, insightful little chit chat. If you like the video, drop a like, comment, share, whatever you gotta do, or just listen. I don't really care. I'll catch y'all beautiful people in the next episode. Bye bye.